but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe, this is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tommy C, and this is Shopping the Point. My point man today, an interviewee, is none other the guy. You know, I usually make fun of I usually make fun of guys like you. You know,
that's fair.
You know, it pays. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Do your thing, man.
But no, I don't feel that way today because I think this issue is a little more serious. It's something that's I talk about a lot on here. It has to do with free speech and the stifling of free speech. What we're seeing on the internet, and especially the fact that I live in Germany, and I'm seeing the stifling of free speech in a very direct way. So we're gonna go over that. But I mean, the way I was introduced to you and your situation was because I was following Boogie, and I was like, thank you so much for the sub. I was watching what he was talking about somebody in a manner that I was really more familiar with SJWs or something like it came out of Anita Sarkeesian's mouth or something like that. And I looked into your case, and I was just like, all right, this guy, he's a bit of a dick, I guess, on the internet, but I mean, is that fair? Is that insulting to you? I mean, I'm a douche on the internet too. I mean, it's not like.
Yeah, I mean, the people that know me the best will tell you that I'm a dick. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't bother me when people say that at all, because usually the same people in the same breath will say, yeah, but he'll also give you the shirt off his back.
Sure.
So like that, I've made peace with that. Like I can go to sleep at night feeling that way, you know.
I don't know. I was in the Army, and I played hockey and baseball, and that's the way we fucking bonded as dudes. We kind of douchebags to each other, but we loved each other. Yeah. I know it's hard for some people to understand. I imagine that's much the same thing in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I mean, you bust balls, right? I mean, that's
exactly.
That's just how guys are. Fuck, you know.
My whole show's around ball busting. Right, yeah. And when I see stuff like this, I wonder if it's in Pearl. You know, I can't really have that. And I saw Boogie's, and he posted a video about you with this character, the Professor, and I heard nothing but SJW tropes and almost memes at this point for criticism of you. And then I did check, and the only information I was able to find was on Polygon and, of course, Kotaku, two sources that I don't trust, two sources that were involved in Gamergate, as far as like talking to other journalists to coordinate an attack on gamers. And I started to think that possibly you might be the victim in this entire situation. And I was shocked to find out that I didn't think Boogie had a relationship with you at any just the other day. And now you have removed the videos, both your videos mutually. I was shocked that you really had a relationship with you, and he did not contact you before this criticism was forthcoming?
Well, no. I mean, I think it's fair to say that, like, when we say we're friends, we're like friends. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, it's like he hasn't been to my house for Thanksgiving. I haven't been to hit, So, I mean, it's yeah, he could have reached out to me, but I wasn't, I wasn't so crushed. It's not like it was what it was, Yeah. We're friendly online, I would say.
Yeah, but you also did mention in the video that he was having some trouble sometime, and you actually contacted this professor who made this video about you. Which, by the way, I don't know if I'm going to ask you about some of his criticisms. We're going to actually watch them together. I don't think all of them were off base, but I'm going to confirm with you what he was talking about. Like you said, you contacted this guy one time to see if Boogie was okay. I don't want to go into the situation, but to see if he was okay. Like you all know each other, and there's just a political difference. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, as we talked about ahead of time, like, really, here's how I see it. Boogie, as often, will do what he thinks is right. May not always be right, but I believe him at least genuine to do what he thinks maybe what other people think is right. That's what I should say. And the real problem is Tolarian Community College really like manipulating, I mean, this is a guy that had no problem invoking the Holocaust to
we'll go over
amp
that.
it up. Yeah,
I got that clip.
We'll
go over that. Don't worry about it. So so your issue is more with, but see, Boogie probably gave you more exposure than he did. The Tolarium, I guess that's a reference to Magic the Gathering. It looks like a good place to learn how to.
It's just a card reference. We can just call him the professor. That's his like persona.
It's his persona. You know? Yeah, he looks like he's at Hogwarts and says "not okay" a lot. You know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like him and I have never, like the professor and I. You know, my channel I was pretty much the one that was close to, like, everyone was kind of racing to 100,000 subs, and he really took off like at the last minute there. For many years, I was much bigger than him. Okay. And so, like, he never really gave me any shine. I never really gave him any shine.
Sure, you competitors.
Yeah, exactly. Competitive is, that's fair to say.
Sure.
And so, like, you know, him and I disagree strongly politically, the professor and I. And that is the root of, like, the gasoline on the fire. And I still don't hate the man. You know, I hate his ideas. And the way he goes about things, treating young men as victims. But I mean, you know, he is really the root of all this. This is the second time the Magic community's tried to quote ban me. And
what does that entail? Can they actually, are they trying to keep you from going to tournaments?
Yeah, essentially what it is I couldn't play in any sanctioned events, which is like a Grand Prix, which is a large tournament. Or the Pro Tour, which I'm not a pro player anyway, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
But the Grand Prix would sting a little bit because I go to them to cover them for the YouTube channel. I go and I'll like shoot video and I meet up with fans. That one would sting a little bit, but you know, ultimately it's ceremonial. You know, I have, you know, they're not going to stop me from buying Magic cards. They're not going to stop me from playing with my friends.
Sure.
Not, you know, it's just to appease a mob. And that's all this really is. It's a mob of people. I learned a valuable lesson the first time I went through this, and that is, like, you can make, and you probably know this too because you're an abrasive guy too. Can be. Yeah.
It's putting
you will
mildly.
Yeah.
No, don't try. You don't have to worry about hurting my feelings, pal. I got Keemstar on my ass. You know.
Most people tell me I'm too nice, but your fans will always be there for like a lifetime, but your haters will be there for an eternity. And so, like, when you piss off a lot of people,
sure.
You know, I've been YouTubing for 5 years. You've been at this a long time. You build a small following of people that really hate you. And anytime they have a chance to hurt you, this is what happens, right? So every time I say something somebody doesn't like, you know, the first time there's 50 people clamoring about it. The last time there's 150 people clamoring about it. You know what I mean? And they try to control you.
But I mean, that is a part of the game. I knew because we just talked about it prior offset. I mean, I'm a big Howard Stern guy, and I knew he had to share his haters. And I always thought that was the best part, to have your share of haters to almost promote your show. People like conflict. I was on the Baited podcast. I mean, that was the whole thing. It was a conflict between two people, and I was the mediator, or in some aspect. And people really enjoy that from an entertainment perspective.
Oh yeah,
I always
way more
thought haters were
agreeing.
And I suppose it depends on what you're doing. If what I do, haters really help. But I don't know if it helps a guy trying to teach the best way to perform an offense or a defense in a card game. You know, I don't know if that. But in fairness, you are a very political person. And obviously, I think some of your influences are like Sargon of Akkad and things of that nature, as well as me. But most of the criticism I'm seeing of you is basically criticism the way you behave on Twitter. Do you bring these politics to these tournaments?
Oh, hell no. No. Yeah, of course not. Yeah, that's funny. Like, if I never would have gotten on Twitter, I probably would have very few people with anything bad to say about me.
Okay.
And the Twitter personality is, it's like turned up to 11 because I just get so annoyed with like virtue signaling and all these buzzword crap. And so I go like all the way the other direction. Like I don't think I could call people cucks in real life unironically. But like on Twitter, I'm like, this guy's a cuck.
Yeah. Well, to me, that's a good way to. That's the best place to express yourself. I mean, there's no reason to get a fist fight over it. When it comes to Boogie, now I mean, you used the word backstab in your video that you took down, and you said it was because that you had a relationship with you, at very least some relationship. You do care about him. Because I'm not going to get into it. You told me you care about him, and this podcast has changed dramatically in the last couple hours. And by the way, it is what it is. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. My fans want blood, but you know, if it's not necessary, this is going to come to a big surprise. I really do like Boogie. I love his video game reviews. My biggest problem with him is he makes these very strong stances. And he does seem to use some of his, I'm looking for the right word here. I don't know. And I don't like having to do that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. He used some of his past bad experiences and maybe his experience with mental illness. It does seem to be as a shield to avoid criticism. And for him so quickly to kind of turn on you, because it did feel like virtue signaling. I got sent to a video that was about virtue signaling. And it really, and coming off the Anita Sarkeesian video that he took a lot of heat for, how he always pulls back. I had a YouTuber that has well over a million subs to tell me once, I'd actually mentioned, Boogie's making drama videos. He's making really good ones. He's very neutral. He's down the line. And that same person told me, he said, look, as soon as he takes any heat, kiss those drama videos goodbye. And that's exactly what happened in the coming months. Of late 2016, and I just wonder, you don't want to hurt somebody, but when these people hide behind their personal afflictions, which are essentially not my problem, like, what do you do? Like, how do you handle this? I mean, I'm all for being diplomatic, but at one point, you know, this guy's trying to take your job, quartering. He's trying to hurt your career. He's trying to damage you for being a dick. You know, I'm sorry. I don't see the like all right, he's a dick in the internet, so we have to really cut into his earning power. I don't see that. I see that as nasty. I see that as dangerous. And
it is oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go. No, you were done. No, I was waiting to be interrupted. That's how we do things here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's. Look, I think Boogie would admit that he's a weak man.
Okay.
In private and publicly.
Okay.
I think he's a people pleaser, and these people are often the most frustrating people to deal with because I too, like you, have been watching him for many years. And when you mentioned this is not the first time he's got into drama and then backed out, right? Like 2 or 3 times through his career, he started covering drama because it's like so tempting to make that drama cash. And there's nothing wrong. Like Keemstar did nothing wrong.
No,
you know?
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with Keemstar. You know,
I don't have a problem with what he does to make money. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he does to make money.
I mean, I don't know him personally, right? I mean, I have no problem with drama content. People watch it. You know, then that's the end of the conversation. Boogie and I, you know, he does tend to, he can make you feel really bad for him. And it really makes you ask yourself, how mad am I about this? Am I really going to be the guy that makes him hurt himself?
Yeah.
And that's where I was this week. And everything he's going through in his personal life, you know, I'm still mad at him, but just like you probably have, like men, to be honest, not you know, hashtag not all, and not all women are like this, but I feel like the definition of a real man, you know, is often like, you know, people are afraid to say it, but I feel like real men can be pissed at each other and still be friends.
I agree.
Like I have friends, like I'm fucking pissed at him right now. I'm pissed because I feel like he manipulated me into taking down my video. But it's like family.
Yeah, like,
you know?
yeah.
I can't.
But you know what? Here's the thing. You know, I'm not, look, if I knew Boogie was on the edge, I wouldn't cut a video on him. But he put you in a position where you had to defend yourself or potentially take a huge income hit. I'm sorry. I don't care what your disability is. I'm firing back. And I don't blame you, and I don't think you should take blame. But I also don't blame you for taking it down if you can be diplomatic about the whole thing. But I got to be honest with you. From the stuff I'm seeing is very, very unfair. And, you know, I hear a lot about PC culture just means don't be a dick. No, it doesn't. It means don't be a dick or else. And Boogie had no problem putting you in a position. By the way, he wrote something about you. He said, I think this guy's a jerk. I think he's bad for the community. And I think he causes people to attack other people. All right. And I'm thinking to myself, that statement in itself is, there's no problem with that. That's his opinion. But the problem with his opinion is when you have a similar opinion, that's witch hunting. That's cyberbullying. Wait a minute. All you're doing is passive-aggressive cyberbullying, and you're putting a guy's money in peril. And if anybody fires back at you and points out, like, you know what, you're kind of doing the same thing, I'm depressed. That's really frustrating because he could have damaged you. You almost had to make that video.
If I was YouTubing for a living, I might not take that video down. Yeah. To be totally honest. But if I was YouTubing for a living... Maybe I release those Skype conversations. I don't know what I do.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
No, I mean, that's a line I don't really want to cross because, like, I expect people that talk to me.
I've crossed it. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, you just look bad, right?
We can talk offline. You don't want to do it.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know how hard I go and how little, you know, but because, I mean, we talked. I, like, took a half-day vacation to do this interview. So, like.
Oh, thank you.
It
means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I like a show, and I don't mind talking about this stuff. Sure. And, you know, the reason I was late is because I was on the phone with him, with Boogie. And, you know, I would tell him, just like I told you, like, I think I don't excuse bad behavior, but because I'm privy to it, his problem is he expects me to not be mean to people who are fragile. And I say, well, how the hell can I know who's in a fragile position and who's not? I mean, people aren't publishing. Like, if somebody makes a video about me, my entire point to Boogie is, don't complain. Like, don't start nothing. What does that sound like? Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Yeah. Like, don't make the video if you can't handle the blowback.
Sure.
If same is true, like, I'll be responding to the professor's terrible video tonight. Like, and if he cries about it, I won't be taking that down. Because I don't have that kind of relationship with him like I did with Boogie. Now, maybe I'm comfortable, like, getting cucked by Boogie one last time. If he fooled me, fine.
I doubt he'd do that. I really doubt he would do that.
I mean, there's mean, and then there's, like, really...
That's vicious.
You know? Yeah. I don't think...
That's vicious, and that will blow up in his face. Because I got news for Boogie. Colossal's Crazy made a crack about him today. And it was legitimate criticism. The problem is Colossal is so followed by other commentators. This may open the floodgates for something Boogie doesn't want. And he has friends in the skeptic community that'll probably spare him. But I know
Sargon won't make a video about him.
No, I guarantee one because Sargon loves him.
He specifically told me to be nice.
Yeah. Oh, really? Did he really? On this show?
No. When I told Sargon, I said, "Hey,
I don't think Sargon knows who I am.
I've got to do this."
Oh no, okay. And I think you were nice. I
feel like
I think you were nice for the most part, and I don't think you did anything, anything that wasn't done to you. But I think he's opened up another can of worms with the regular commentary community, or sort of called the drama community. When Colossal's Crazy speaks out, that's gonna have another effect because it's a subconscious thing. It almost gives permission to the rest of the other commentary community, with the possible exception of Kavos. He runs kind of his own train. So I mean, I think a lot of criticism is coming his way, and he's going to either have to deal with it or just take some time off the internet. You know,
I think that's really what he should do. I think Arch did Arch did a good video. Arch Warhammer. I like him a lot. He's someone I consider a friend. We play games together on Sundays, and he did a video where basically he said kind of the same thing, like, Doug, like, look, enough is enough. Like, take a week off. You know, like, just log out of Twitter.
Chill out.
Yeah, just fucking play some video games, man. Like, just don't, because the internet has a really short attention span.
Sure.
Like, really short.
Yeah. Well, if you take the Face Bank situation, he can't. He's had a gag order for 2 weeks. If he releases a video in 2 weeks, they're going to be people like, what? Who cares? Yeah. You know, I mean, he's like, that's like a year in internet time. It's ridiculous. So you're right. Somebody wrote in the chat that Sargon likes Boogie. Well, that's a shock or something of that. I'm paraphrasing, but no. You know, Boogie, in fairness to him, has done good things. He did expose a lot of publications that were putting pressure on him to join against Gamergate, and he didn't do it on principle. No one is here saying this guy's a bad man. We're criticizing his ideas and some of the what I think was a terrible move to put Quartering in a position for simply reasons of virtue signaling to basically defend his career. You know.
Yeah, I think maybe part of the reason it was so easy for me to let it go is because I feel like he ended up on the wrong side of that.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean? I feel like he learned his lesson. Not, you know.
You took a lot of shit, but you did turn it around. And I wonder why, if I had to guess Boogie a question, in a post-Gamergate world, how did he think this is going to work out? Yeah, you got to hate, you lost some subs, and you're already regaining. You've actually exposed yourself to a different part of YouTube, which is what you want to do as a YouTuber. You want to just get, you've made drama, and you're exposing, people are going to sub to you just because they're pissed off at SJWs. Let's be perfectly honest with you. Now that we covered the Boogie situation, I want to cover your situation and why you're in this, what happened to begin with. There's a cosplayer by the name of Christine Sprankle. She tweeted about, I think it was about almost 2 weeks ago, that she was leaving cosplay, which, by the way, I don't believe.
Nobody believes
fucking
that.
Believe, because I've seen it before. Because I've seen it fucking before. Right? This is an attention-gathering mechanism, and it works. It works every time. Right? Here's her tweet. It's been a rough year, and I have been, and I have blocked and not said anything about him because I wanted him to die without MTG headquarters / unsleeved media. Has made my life a living hell a whole year with his unnecessary videos / tweets about me and other members of Magic. Now, if you correct me if I'm wrong. You claimed that you made a video about her 6 months ago, and your criticisms are ones that that a lot of these cosplayers are just kind of showing skin, and they're not really important to the tournament. And you feel that she sort of, and she ain't the only YouTuber that does this, sort of begs for money online, and you have a particular issue about that. Is there more to it than that, or no? Go right ahead.
So I can summarize the video pretty quickly.
Sure. She
sent out a tweet being pretending to be a victim over a YouTube comment that some 14-year-old kid left that said, I came for the cosplay, but I left with a boner. And then she's like, I instantly regret my life. And then what I was making fun of was all the fedora, like the mad fedora tipping going on in the comments. Like, I wasn't even, it was like a 5 or 6 minute video, of which 1 minute I said that cosplay is just lingerie, and then she's an e-beggar, and I stand by that.
Okay.
Anybody who uploads a Patreon video and cries in it, I automatically don't trust you.
Sure.
Especially females. Sorry, that might not be fair, but these women move into nerd culture. Many women can move into nerd culture and take advantage of vulnerable young boys and men. Boys and men that are not
vulnerable. Is that fair? I mean, are they really truly vulnerable? I mean, sex sells. I mean, I actually disagree with you on this. I respect your right to the opinion, and I don't think you should be run out of Magic for it or attacked by these virtue signaling SJWs. But who cares? Who cares if these girls? I mean, look, I mean, I live in Germany. There's hookers down the street. I mean, we don't have that in the States. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have a right to that opinion, but what motivates you to feel so strong about these women in Magic Tour? Who cares? I personally, if I was playing that dopey card game with you bunch of sweaty neckbeards, I think I'd enjoy the scenery personally. Yeah. But what's your opinion?
So no, I feel that, and I think like the complete thought that I have is not that I have a problem with cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
I really only have a problem with cosplayers with Patreons.
Okay.
Like if the corporate, whoever's running the tournament or Magic the Gathering wants to hire cosplayers, this is great.
Cool.
If they come in, and my problem is these young boys view this as some sort of courtship. They're paying money for special access to these women, and they think it's their girlfriend.
Yeah, but you could make that argument about porn stars. You could make that argument about, I mean, Jesus, cheerleaders. You could make it. Sex is a part of every court of, and I consider what you guys do a sport. It's like a sport like chess or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there is always that element of sex. What's wrong with these girls trying to hustle a couple extra bucks while they're on a Patreon? I don't have a problem if a girl has bigger titties than me and people want to see them. I have a crazy abrasive attitude. Some people want to pay for that. I mean, I do feel, while I respect your opinion, I don't really understand your anger, so to speak.
Well, in all my years, I've never made a single video except for that one about cosplayers. And I've said in a couple interviews, here's a perfect example. I have nothing but respect for Tara Babcock. She owns it.
Tell me who she is, because this is not a world I'm familiar with. Help me out.
She's a YouTuber. She's like she has big tits. She puts them in every thumbnail.
Okay.
She does like sex toy reviews, blah blah blah. But
good for her.
She's not trying to tell you she's an artist.
She's
not trying to tell you. She's like, hey, you know, and I think that is why I get so angry.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. Like, look, everyone. I mean, there are very few. There are way more people on this planet that enjoy porn than that don't. I have no problem with that. I'm not a Puritan.
Sure.
I have a problem with people who manipulate other people. Specifically, I feel protective of these young boys in the Magic community. Oh, that sounds weird, but
I know,
because they're so fucking awkward. So many of them are so awkward. They're so desperate, and then it's like
because you were that boy at one time. Let's be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I used to crush ass when I was in high school, but I know the Magic type though. You know,
yeah, I know, probably better than me. In fairness, isn't that a part of growth though? I mean, you get your heart crushed by some girl that says she kind of leads on. Isn't that part of growth? Isn't that kind of character building? Especially if you're 14, 15, 16. I think, don't we have to go that through? I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't point it out. But I think almost that rejection is just maybe even a good thing. I
disagree with that.
Yeah.
Learning, I mean, nobody reads about getting burned like in a book. They have a friend do it. Or they have like,
that's true.
You know, most people get cheated on, you know, and that's how they learn about how the real world works. They didn't read about it.
Okay, that's separate from this issue. I just wanted to go over it because I was very interested in it, just for opinion's sake. You said you made one video about her, and according to the article that I read, I think it was in Polygon, you made 2 videos, I guess, responding to her tweet. Playset of Beta White Knights protecting Sprankle from literal email assault. Playset of Beta White Knights prevent rape of MTG cosplayer Sprankle.
That's the same video. They must have. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just one video.
So there were one particular video. Okay. Yeah. This was a response to her tweet, because imagine she made this tweet and you got.
She was like, "Oh my god, I barely survived," you know, and I was like, God. Get fucked.
Yeah. No kidding.
Don't post pictures of yourself in a bodysuit with your nips poking out and act all surprised when some 14-year-old anonymous person on the internet says they got a boner. Like. That's the stuff that makes me really angry. Like, if I was posting bulge pictures and somebody's like, check out his bulge, like, I couldn't then be, like, offended by that.
It's like a hooker saying, why are you staring at my tits? You know?
Yeah,
after you already fucking paid.
I don't like.
You know? So she's obviously brought in, she's drinking the social justice Kool-Aid. She wants to show the boobs, but not go along with what comes with that.
Objectify me, but don't objectify me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the feminist thing. You're always breaking the rules, no matter where you go. This resulted in what for you after that? What happened after that?
That was bad. Yeah, that was really bad. I received many death threats, like literal, like. People were sending me pictures of my house. People were sending me my parents' names and addresses. People were calling my phone nonstop, emailing me, review bombed my website. And this is all based on a lie, something that was never proven, and it was just like she had weeks. Like if there's anybody, there's very few people I hate, but she's really high up there because she had weeks to correct this and has remained silent even after it's been debunked thoroughly.
Okay, but you are a shit stirrer though. You mentioned that because I'm going to put this tweet. That's obviously a reference to the Sargon tweet to this politician that I can't remember her name. Germany, who encourages a rape joke / threats. Who talks about women as if their beauty is a weapon, a tactic, a deceit. And you wrote, "I wouldn't even rape you." I guess you're referencing Sargon in that. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, but also the problem is, I've never made a rape joke or a threat, and the fact that she put that out there is what drew my ire.
Infuriated you. Yeah, because saying that she's taking advantage of kids. Why I disagree with you on that. That Sparkles or this Christine Sprankle is taking care of kids. You certainly weren't making any kind of rep, and you're not gonna. You're saying this now. No one's gonna pull a video and show. You were saying to go over there and fuck with her. You've never told anybody to fuck with her, correct?
Never.
All right. Never. Has there been any action taken to you by Wizards of the Coast?
No.
None. Zero. Do you expect some?
No. Yes. They have reached out to me actually and told me I was under investigation.
Oh, that's funny. So they got involved in a Twitter spat and a YouTube spat. Two companies they have nothing to do with, correct? I just want to make that abundantly clear. They are directly, this organization, a card game organization, is getting involved with your Twitter spat. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Or your YouTube videos? Have you ever, in a tournament, kind of spewed your politics or any kind of situation in a tournament situation? I'm not talking about having coffee outside and talking about anti-SJW stuff. I'm talking about like bending some guy's ear in a tournament.
No.
You've never done that.
I've been to 20 major events, never had a single complaint, always been entirely positive. There's no reason, and I've been to many local game stores, never had a problem, never had a single complaint. So
because one thing Boogie said in one of his tweets that I absolutely agree with: people start spilling politics left or right when you guys are at the table playing cards. Get the fuck out. And I agree with him 100%.
I agree with that 100%.
All right, but you're saying that has never been an issue with you. Okay.
No. God, no.
Okay. I found a video.
To be honest,
sure, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to be honest, like, I never wanted to talk about this stuff. It was like Wizards of the Coast virtue signaling and signal boosting crap that made me talk about it. Like when I go to a local game store, I already know that my opinions are in the minority, and I'm just there to play cards. Like I don't want to talk about politics at all. And
so you're a reaction to them swinging to the left. Is that how you're portraying yourself? Okay, your reaction to a game that has nothing to do with politics other than fantasy and a competitive card game, swinging to the left. Now, you mentioned a video. I found a video that you did, I think it was in July or August, that you said that, and I've seen this with, with Little League and stuff like that, that it's very difficult to get judges. And that you have a lot of respect to judges because they don't make a dime, and it's actually a pretty difficult job to deal with all these nerds, And but you said that they're maybe... You intimated that they're lowering their standards and they're pulling these people in that have these sort of strong political opinions on top of being judges. Like, how is that affecting the game? Are you sitting down for a game against Boogie and the guy's talking about, there's a lot of sexism in Magic? Like, how did you know they were SJWs to begin with?
Well, because I can see what they post on social media, to be totally honest. And a lot of times, just look at people. It's just like
are they hitting you up though? Are the judges hitting you up, or are they saying stuff on social media?
You see it manifested in like absurd personal conduct policies. Like when I have a personal conduct policy that includes the word microaggression, like I know who wrote that shit.
So you're fighting this shit.
Yes.
And Boogie put you on blast.
Yeah,
you're fighting. So this is this is something we saw in the atheist community a couple years ago with Thunderfoot pointing that out. They started making, well, you have to go through this class and that class. You got to be told not to rape people and all sorts of other aimless short. So you're simply fighting the insanity to maybe this is the right word, over bureaucratizing Magic when it's very simply a game. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, my default ask for any game maker of anything people do for enjoyment is to have zero political affiliation. That is what this is true of like Marvel. I mean, like, you can touch on political things, but when it gets to the point of propaganda, when you're changing the sex of a card to push a political agenda, that is the stuff that I meet with.
So you're criticizing,
like,
but
yeah,
you do
strongly.
admit you're rough. You're rough. You do
Yeah.
think, you do admit that you're rough and you say nasty shit from time to time.
Yeah.
I want to introduce everybody, or my audience, to the professor, who looks like he's about to say that's not okay. And I know he's got the whole I'm at Hogwarts teacher type thing going on. That's a part of his gimmick. But I got to be honest with you, and this has nothing, and I don't think all of his arguments are terrible, and I'm going to ask you about them. But his overall message is you have to know or understand or even think before you criticize about the mental health condition of the people that you're criticizing, which is absolutely outrageous. It is outrageous. And I do not believe that this man's an honest man. I think he's using this particular line of thing to silence criticism. And I'm going to show you that. But I will say, I don't know if all his criticism, I don't think all his criticisms are illegitimate, and I'm going to run them by you. Here is the professor.
Jeremy, you are one of the largest MTG YouTube channels. You previously were the largest MTG YouTube channel.
Yeah. What was that about? Because I picked up, I picked up on that immediately, and I don't know shit about your community. Okay, I just wanted to point that out.
And as numbers shift and change, you may one day be again. You have over 140,000 subscribers.
Irrelevant.
Tens of thousands of followers on Twitter. People who love and support you and believe what it is that you say. And all I...
Outrageous! How dare they? How dare they believe what you say? Yeah. Was there any reason for them not to believe? I don't know. If I was the fucking professor, I would put in why they shouldn't. But that never really comes up, does it, Jeremy?
No, he never does prove anything.
This guy, I got to be honest with you, this guy makes me fucking crazy just looking at him. I got to be honest with you.
Ask is that you acknowledge that everything, not publicly, just to yourself, by the way, just say to yourself.
Why would you care what Jeremy says to himself? I mean, really. I mean, what the fuck do you care? You're obviously making a video because you have a strong opinion about Germany. Why the fuck do you care what he does to himself? Because you know damn well what this video is going to do. It's going to put you ahead in the YouTube run-ins. And I know all about that game.
When you send out attacks at other people, surely...
Stop that there once.
Go ahead.
This is sorry, but this is something that really makes me angry.
Go ahead.
A lot of these far left regressives will say they use the word attack. They don't hear criticism. Everything is an attack.
It almost sounds like a physical attack, like the words themselves are punching people. But go ahead.
No, I mean I'm just saying, like, that is something. That's how they always frame this. Like, you're attacking. You're attacking.
Well, you know, it's funny. Everybody's a white supremacist. Everybody's Hitler supporter, and everybody is attacking. There is no such thing as criticism and attacking. But he doesn't even make that case. He makes the case based on your following, not on your not so much on your content. You guys can go check the video out yourself. It's out there. Believe me. All you got to put is TheQuartering's name in. You'll find it. And he makes very short clips. About, you know, and the context isn't there, about some of your comments. And you're definitely an anti-SJW. You definitely have a different political opinion than him. But if I had to guess, this Sprankle thing, in my opinion, gave him the opportunity to virtual single and move past you on YouTube. That's what it seems like to me. I fail to see the sincerity. I think he's doing exactly what he's accused you of doing, which is starting a mob. Which, by the way, I don't have a fucking problem with. If I say something that outrages people and it's honest and it's true and that draws attention and people want to go out and speak their mind, minus death threats and shit and things that are illegal already, well, that's my right of free speech. I earn that following, and that following is going to go ahead. I don't understand why he thinks because of your following you can't have you have to be careful of what you say. And I think
it's because he doesn't believe people have any personal responsibility. He feels his argument is that because Tommy says this guy's a douchebag, all of his followers just blindly listen and believe because that's what he does.
You know what I think it is? I think he thinks you should know that your politics and your ideas are repulsive.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that if you're going to spread these repulsive ideas, you have to be careful. He doesn't even consider the fact that maybe his values and ideas are not universal. That's the thing that I find most frightening about these people.
Your followers, your subscribers are going to react in kind, and that what you're on the receiving end of, as you say right now, that's something you send at other people when you do what it is that you do.
So it's about revenge?
This is your fault, is what he's saying too, right?
That's, you know, it sounds like me, like, oh, you're just getting a taste of your own medicine, son.
Yeah.
So that means you don't have the, you don't even carry, you don't practice your own, you don't practice what you preach.
They always ask for people to live by a set of standards that they themselves do not live up to. And that is one of the most infuriating, common beliefs of these people like him. They're always sticking their finger in your face and telling you how to act, and then just doing whatever the hell they want anyway.
If only it's the same thing. What did you... By the way, I have no problem with him criticizing you, and I'm sorry.
I don't either.
If you get a bunch of death threats, that's your fucking problem, not his. Unless he said, go give him death threats, of course, which has never been the issue in either situation. I don't have an issue with any of it. Certainly, I don't think he's lying on everything. He just sees things differently, and it may or may not be true. That's up for debate. But to sit there and... I think what he thinks is his values are universal, and you're just a confused man. And as you being a confused man, you got to be a little more careful about what you say, which, of course, is a double standard.
Christine received more than just a video from you criticizing her.
Is that true? He's basically calling you a liar.
No.
All
the people pouring over, like the entirety of the Magic community, you think there'd be a screenshot. You think there'd be a video that would have turned up.
He also may be referring to how often, and I don't know how relevant this is, unless it's like 24/7. How often did you tweet about her or quote her tweets or take a shot at her?
Less than 5 times in 5 years, probably.
Really? And I haven't seen. Why didn't Polygon show me that? Why didn't they show me your hundreds of tweets that you're attacking her, so to speak?
Because the nature of your...
It's not there.
It's not there. It didn't happen. What a shock. What a dishonest man this guy is.
Criticism was incredibly emotional and hostile and mocking.
Irrelevant. Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It only matters if the criticism was criminal, as in threats, as in causing bodily harm. But I get the feeling, Professor, you don't know the difference between words and actually causing actual body harm. I got my tongue twisted. Bodily harm.
And this encouraged and emboldened people to go after her.
As this video will.
Isn't that like...
Yeah, it's a mind blow.
When I saw his video, I was just like, you're literally sticking your finger in my face and telling me that I'm responsible for this while you're literally... And you're telling me that that's wrong. See, it'd be one thing if you're, like you said, your standard was, fuck you, I don't care, I'm not responsible for what my subscribers do, but that's not his stance. His stance is, I'm supposedly responsible for what my subscribers do, but he, of course, is not.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing, because this is obviously a man that doesn't know there's another... You know, William Buckley said this years ago. I grew up in a conservative household, big Reagan guys, right? Liberals always talk about the other side. They're often surprised to find out there is one. And I think that's the case here.
You did more than one video against her. There's at least 2 that I know of, and there's another one that I think you took down because it was so mean.
Is that true?
Nope.
Nope. Not at all. You did not take a video down based on something was so terribly mean. Is that correct?
Nope.
Okay.
Yes.
He didn't produce any evidence. I'm just asking you.
But
the internet never forgets.
Yeah.
I mean, he had hundreds of people.
You have 100,000 subs. I can understand if you had 100 or 1,000 subs. You have 100,000 subs. Somebody's downloading every one of your videos. Likely your fans.
So the tweets that you would send out against her over the years, and when messaging...
And just to be clear, he has 25,000 subs on the quartering, and you've got a play button on your other... why am I forgetting the name? I apologize. Of your
Unsleeved Media.
Unsleeved Media. I apologize. Okay, just want to make that clear.
Is like this or what you send out. Then do you really think that nothing happens as a result? Do you really think that her inbox doesn't fill up?
Do you really think that her inbox doesn't fill up?
I don't really care. People make their own choices in life.
Yeah.
I have the right to criticize anybody I want.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and I don't get the feeling he's talking to you.
No,
I don't get that. I feel like he's talking to them. He's preaching to the choir here and acting like he's concerned for you.
With hate, that she doesn't get the same death and rape threats that you are on the receiving.
You know, I grew up as a big New York Ranger fan and a New York Yankee fan, and you know, I'm waiting for one of the players to pull the card that one of the reporters is harassing them by telling them they suck. I mean, because that's exactly what you're doing here. If I sit there and say that Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers hasn't had a goal in 2 games and needs to sit down, well, that hurts my fucking feelings. There's nobody in the planet that's going to feel sorry for him. Forget the fact that he's a jock. Why is this any different for criticism from you?
Well, and the funny thing is, if you were following my Twitter account during all this, I was literally retweeting the threats that I was getting, posting screenshots of every threat. And even though he had his several people working with him to mine, because I have 3 Twitter accounts, hundreds of thousands of tweets, they mined all this stuff, and they didn't mine a single threat that Christine got. I'm not saying she never gets one.
Oh, I'm sure she got them. I believe
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how about some... He's not concerned with proving his point here. He's concerned with pontificating.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's self-important. Listen, I only usually do an hour. I'd like to go at least another 15 minutes. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'd like to go through this video, and then we'll call it a day. And I got about 6 minutes left in this video, which means about 15 for me.
And of now.
All right, that was the first part. Now he's got other stuff. Let's go back and give him a chance to talk here. Hold on.
Awareness of the ramifications of our actions when you have such a huge following. I think it's
and this guy's got a bigger following than you, correct?
He's got almost 300,000.
That's huge for a game.
Yeah, it's huge. It's bigger than the company that makes the game. So I mean,
well, I tell you something. Note to streamers, and take it from Dr. Disrespect and this guy. Forget this politics for a minute. Doing a character and dressing a little weird helps a lot. Yes, you got to give the professor credit. I will say this, as a performer, I think the professor's fantastic. By the way,
I agree.
I don't know anything about his gameplay. Maybe I don't know. Do you play the online Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. His channel is not big because he's good at the game. He literally reviews deck boxes, but people subscribe to the character.
Really? Are you good at the game?
Yeah.
I've had this dream that I'm gonna have Net Nobody teach me how to play Minecraft. I want you to teach me how to play Magic, and we'll stream it on Twitch or something like that, right? Or maybe even here.
Sounds fun.
And I want, who the fuck? I want Uber Danger. These are 3 guys I know. I want Uber Danger to teach me League of Legends. Those are 3 games I've never played in my life. Right.
Yeah.
So, well, another time, man. When we're having more fun, because I want to like hang out and have fun with you. I don't want to just do this shit.
Fair thing that you should consider. I know that the issue of mental health is important to you. It certainly is to me. And you've been brave to publicly say that you struggle with anxiety issues.
No, you haven't. So what? So what that you said that? I mean, that's all well and good that you talk to people about it, but it doesn't make you any braver than anybody else. Do you disagree with me on that?
No, it's not brave.
I mean, what are you talking about? Is this just an attempt to show that he's trying to be fair? What
he's doing is he's setting himself up.
Yeah.
He's saying, you're so brave, so these other people who are weak-willed are not, you know what I mean? Like, this is all about just,
So I can't speak my mind because there's a certain amount of people that will always be there that are weak-willed.
That's right.
So you're essentially telling you to self-censor.
People are pussies, and you should censor yourself. Yeah. That's what he's saying. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I'm sorry if I. No.
Don't. What are you from the Midwest? You're always apologizing.
I am. I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. Stop it. Knock it off. You were from a guy from Jersey. Don't worry. Interrupt me. Nobody would ever get a word in edgewise on this show if they didn't interrupt me. I'm telling you right now.
Well, that right there, that's showing that not everyone is built the same.
So what? So what? We have to lower ourselves where other people can't take it? Are you kidding me? Nothing would ever get done in the world. You imagine the guy who was, building a cure for cancer and all the other doctors, and one guy's moving way ahead of the other ones. Slow down! You're making the other guys feel bad! You don't want to cure cancer before they do you? It's like, what the fuck is the matter with you, Professor? Jesus Christ, I wish there was a Hogwarts and you could go there, because it's a different dimension, and stay there. How about that? Sorry.
Yes, it is a struggle we all should fight. We must endure, we must overcome, but that doesn't mean it's as simple as flipping a switch.
I would agree with that, but it doesn't matter. Because because in order to do what he wants you to, you have to stifle your speech. And these things like cyberbullying and witch hunting, and Twitch is doing this right now to anything for views, to me, is just a roundabout way, just like what you said with attack. It's not a criticism, it's an attack. It's not a criticism, it's witch hunting, it's cyberbullying. Now, look, I'm not for bullying either. There's a line with this shit, but we already have harassment laws. And they're already in place, and they already apply on the internet, whether there was an internet or not. So to me,
we agree.
Yeah,
we agree on that. Like, look, I understand that I have a large following, and I take a small amount of responsibility. Like, if I was adding her on Twitter nonstop and posting screenshots every day for a month,
but you're breaking a different law. You're breaking a different law. You're actually breaking the law. Up. Yeah, that's fucked up. It's already illegal too. It's funny how feminists and SJWs cry about things that are already illegal and acts like no one ever happens to them.
And when a person with 150,000 YouTube
Hogwarts is a safe space, somebody wrote. That's funny.
Yeah.
subscribers suddenly decides to call another person a pedophile or a sex offender.
Did you do that?
I said somebody had a pedophile smile. I
Okay.
didn't say that.
But
You're about to see the screenshot.
Yeah, I know. I saw the screenshot.
And this guy, by the way.
And I was shocked when he used this as an example. All right, so I want everybody to notice, he just claimed that TheQuartering said somebody was a pedophile in a thumbnail.
Say you're really a man and
Here's
some 3 out of 10 beggar, and on and on and on. Well, that does have the potential to have an effect. And
everything has a potential to have an effect.
Yeah.
All right, I think I skipped.
Well,
I think I put a gap.
Yeah, it's
in there.
I know it was all.
Go ahead.
That guy, by the way, Daniel Fournier, who has the pedo smile, and I'm sorry, he just does. Use some teeth. Don't do that half crooked wry pedo smile. Then he has tweeted endlessly at me and sends me pictures of like him flipping me. Like, it was just a like you said, he removes all context. Like, he was adding me, saying mean things to me, and I was giving it right back. And then the professor takes just my part of the conversation and says, like, I was attacking him. That's not how it was going at all.
You're a political enemy, and that's what you're being treated like, because there's a different set of standards for someone who has something ideologically in common with him and somebody who has opinions like you. That's what it looks like to me. I know. Another thing is too, if anything thinks I'm full of shit, you're more than welcome to check the professor's video and point it out. Here we go. More professor.
It was all meant as a joke, but when someone such as yourself creates a private Facebook group that you then publicly invite your viewers into, and in it you offer rewards for people attending one of Wedge's panels at GP Vegas where they can ask him humiliating questions about his weight. You just thought it was funny and blowing off some steam with friends, but you were sending this out to all of your followers.
I gotta be honest with you, that doesn't seem like a really good idea to have even a private Facebook page to say something like that. You think that's legitimate criticism? You know, I mean, because I can see where it comes from. We're all fucking goofing around about YouTubers we don't like, and then the convention comes up, and then some fucking crazy guy really does it. You know, I do think that is legitimate criticism. No,
I agree. I agree. That was the one thing that I was like, you know, even though at the time there was only 3 people in the Facebook group, and I knew who the other 2 people were. It was reckless. I'll say it was at least reckless.
Yeah, it was definitely reckless. So did somebody do it?
No, of course not.
Oh God! So he's so nobody, like, you didn't have, like, one of those 3 guys didn't do something crazy.
No.
And he's complaining about this shit? No, he's using this as an example because he doesn't tell you there's the 3 people in there. I get it.
Yeah. Private Facebook group, which I started for fans, subscribers that were going to meet me and hang out with me in Vegas.
In fairness, that sounds like more than 3.
Yeah, no, at the time, I mean, when I posted it, I like just opened it up, and then I should have deleted it, or I should have been more aware that there may be people in there that I didn't know was. Sometimes you just forget.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. To me, the professor fucked up. You got one up on him.
So I posted, I really need some trolls for the YouTuber Q&A on Thursday. Drinks on me if you have the stones to ask one of my questions.
I gotta be honest, I would have said something like that too. And immediately said, don't do it though, all right? You know?
Yeah, well, I did post that later in the threads, but he didn't have that.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I know Magic players. It was irresponsible.
Yeah. It was a bad move.
Okay. But I knew nobody was going to say shit.
Yeah.
Like, I knew nobody
and just to be clear, nobody said shit, right?
Nobody did anything.
No, okay. He did. It was a private, and at least the professor said it was a private group.
This is an obvious.
It's all he had.
Sarcastic joke comment. It's. I mean, like, everybody knew.
Do you have the same shirt on in that video?
Yeah, I do.
All right, just point that out.
Do this.
You didn't know who was in that group.
Magic the Awakening thing.
And you yourself seem to acknowledge that it started to get out of hand.
Why was it deleted? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I think it was maybe the thread started to get attention. The wrong type of attention.
Case closed, Professor.
Right.
Case closed. He took care. He fucked up. He took care of it.
Does everyone know it's a joke? That's another fair
it doesn't matter.
question, I feel.
No, it
Does
isn't.
every single person that you're taking in
It's a fair question, but it's not a smart one. Let's just put it that way.
there know it's a joke, and what about the ones that don't? Is there such a thing as too far? Is there such a thing as responsibility?
Sure.
To even a moderate degree. I think these are fair questions.
All right, those are fair questions. There is a limit. Sure. I think we could all agree on that. I think the argument is where it is. I think the professor knows that. But it's much easier to say everybody you disagree with is over the line. Yeah.
Well, what he wants me to do is accept what he wants me to do is come out and say, well, I accept like 1% of responsibility. So he can be like, oh, then you accept responsibility for everything. Like, that's
yeah. So it's a trap. Desperate. So he's not even an honest debater.
What Graham said.
All right, let's go about what Graham said. I thought this is the other close to decent criticism that he may or may not have given you, but we'll.
And that I was supposed to be ashamed. I was born with a penis, and I should be thankful that I have this genital to make me stronger against mean comments on the internet.
All right, and he goes on to say that's not what happened.
Screenshot, I don't think, did he? I think the really short version is some woman was complaining about a mean comment on the internet. I told her to sack up, and this Graham guy came in and said something privilege, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So my reply was, get fucked.
Yeah.
I get people saying mean stuff to me all the time. My genitals don't make me any more or less able to deal with it.
Yeah.
And
so you were straw manning him in the sense that like in a comedic way, not like you were even trying to say what he said word for word, because he's not happy that you didn't represent him right.
But that isn't what Graham said.
What did Graham say? How can we put that in a video?
At all.
Yeah, no.
That is a misrepresentation of that argument.
You didn't think he was joking around, you dipshit?
That you had with him.
They have no sense of humor.
I know. That's the thing. Well, they're all fucking closeted Marxist, if they're not outwardly Marxist. That's why they're no fun. There wasn't much fun in Eastern Europe. I talked to the people. It was no fun.
People who didn't see that argument are going to go by that claim from you.
How is it? Because this is entire argument. Everything that you do has to do with somebody else, and you cannot do what he doesn't want you to do because it might hurt somebody else. We couldn't do anything. It's almost a lot. His entire argument is a fallacy in the sense that if you believe in a free society.
Shouldn't you at least be accurate in what you say?
Yes, if he was doing a paper on fucking Morris or whatever the fuck his name was, he probably should be dead. No, he was sarcastically criticizing him. He doesn't have to be totally accurate.
And the list
And you're a professor, for Christ's sakes.
goes on and on with this. It goes at everyone. When you disagree with someone like Mark Rosewater, do you really feel that the proper response, the proper criticism,
I still see
is
it now, and
to
it's funny.
make it so that your thumbnail says that he is a sex predator?
That's looking
Whoa,
into it.
whoa.
Look at this thumbnail. This was the most amazing shit that I saw. Look at this thumbnail. Over 100 abuse victims. I guess I'm assuming you are sort of referencing the Weinstein thing, but nothing in there says pedophile, right?
Well, and the fact is, the context is, the man said that 72% of women in Magic have been harassed.
Does he have any kind of study to back that up? I bet he doesn't.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
So I replied, basically, show me the receipts. Yeah. And you know what he referenced? A Twitter poll by a feminist. By a feminist Twitter poll.
God damn, where are your brains, boy?
Are you fucking joking?
So what I did was I put up a Twitter poll and said, "Dear Magic community, please let me know if you've ever been abused by Mark Rosewater, parentheses, please be honest." And of course there was like hundreds of people that had been. So like I just debunked his ridiculous
idea to show there's a poll. I mean, that's outrageous. But I mean, the professor leads you to believe that you either said in this particular video or with this thumbnail that you called him a pedophile. Did you call him a pedophile on the in the video?
Not.
No.
Did not.
Were you trying to say he was a pedophile? Actually, it almost seems like, because it was only 6 days ago. That means it was only 10 days ago after this video came out. It's probably you're trying to reference the recent Weinstein incident. I imagine that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's a play on words.
Yeah, it's a play on words.
You know.
Thank you so much for the $10, Tommy. I love you, Christine, Jeremy. Christine and Jeremy are bad for the game. Oh, Magic would be better off. I didn't catch that whole thing. I don't know. How could bad for the game? They would be better off if both of them. But I mean, here's the thing about that. If Jeremy was going into I don't care if he has my politics and started preaching them and making everybody fucking miserable at the tournament, I could agree with you. What does Jeremy do? Like, not have political opinions on Twitter? Everybody does. I do. You guys follow me. You know, I mean, some of you really fucking hate what I have to say. I mean, what does Jeremy do? He just completely bottles up because he has that. You're making the damn professor's argument, you know. And I don't. And I gotta be honest, I disagree with Jeremy. I want to look at boobies if I'm gonna have to hang out with all those neckbeards, you know. I mean, come on. But I mean, it's okay. It doesn't make it bad for the game if people disagree. I don't think you're a toxic person, by the way. I don't believe that. I think you're probably a dick bag on Twitter, and you're probably not in person. That's my view on you. And I don't think you called this man a pedophile. I think that was very disingenuous of the professor. The professor. I'm gonna meme him till kingdom come.
So that people, when they search for his name, see that thumbnail. So
no shit. How else are they gonna see it, genius?
That people.
This man has no humor.
I know. He says that's not okay or not. How old? He's about my age, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
at 41,
well,
42?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
He's about, I think he's my age. How old did you say, 41?
I'm 41.
Yeah, he's somewhere between us. I think I'm 35, 36.
Yeah. So I bet he talks about how he started in the 90s when the game came out, right?
Yeah, of course.
I knew it. I kicked your ass in the 90s. How's that grab you, pal?
Don't watch your videos or watch the first two.
Oh, did you threaten me, Mr. Callahan? Did you threaten me, Mr. C? No, I didn't. I was making reference to bullying in the fucking 90s.
2 minutes of
just to clear it up. I don't want to fucking get a strike for bullying.
Your videos. People who don't understand what satire is.
Oh, it's like that's your responsibility.
That is what you are saying of this person. What do you think happens to his inbox after you
we already went over that. Nobody gives a fuck.
Do that. Do you think that it's not okay to happen to you?
Oh, he just said it. He just fucking said it.
You gotta cut it. That's not okay.
Excuse me. I'm fucking, my head hurts. All right, I just had to get that out of the way. Sorry about that. Let's get back into the professor. Oh, man. I have to do that once a show because fucking fans love it.
But it is okay to happen to him?
It's All right, this is the last thing and probably the most disingenuous thing that he said.
Jeremy, just being fair here, just being reasonable here, do you think that when someone such as myself, and this is just one example, makes a reply to someone that says, oh, you lost a follower over Nazi punching joke, but you gained a modern follower, seems like you traded up, to make an entire video saying I advocate political violence?
Is that a fair question? Did you make a video based on that joke? I mean, that was a joke.
Yeah.
You
yes,
did?
I did.
Why
yeah.
did you
yeah,
do
yeah.
that? Did you really think he was supporting violence in that particular situation?
No, if you watch the video, I was being very sarcastic. The point was to just point out, like, no, of course, none of my videos on that channel at that time. Now they're more serious, but then they were all sarcastic. I mean, but the point was, well, you're supporting Nazi punching, man. That's not very moral of you. Like, I don't make the point that you know.
Yeah, but he was being sarcastic in parents. He wasn't just saying, "Hey, you traded up one." I mean, that's I got to. There's nothing wrong. It was actually kind of clever. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it's. But this is what he says after this. This is the kicker.
I received so many comments about Nazis and the Holocaust and my being one and what I'm doing.
You being one. What does that mean? I think he misspoke. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, most of my family died in concentration camps.
That's really fucking
bullshit.
Well, here's the thing, whether it's true or not. That's how could you invoke that in this petty fucking nerd debate? How fucking dare you? What the fuck is the matter with you? That is like, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Professor. I live in Germany, and I'm reminded every fucking day of this, right? Because you can't walk down the street without touching what they call a stumbling stone. An entire family wiped out. And I can't go to a bar without seeing the synagogue that was torn down on Kristallnacht. And by the way, that fucking moves me. That is my small government reminder. I got it every day when I step on the streets of Wiesbaden. And whether your family, I don't know. I'm going to take your word for it if that would be the case. If you're, because there's a lot of Jews that I knew growing up in New Jersey that were affected directly by apologists. How fucking dare you invoke that shit? Just because you got a bunch of fucking hate in the internet and hate that you have no compunction, no problem sending the other way, which, by the way, is your right, and I respect your right to do it. You can't control what your fucking hateful fans think any more than quartering. You're on the same footing and you don't know it. And you know what? Oh, I didn't want to do this. I'm not. I was going to go one step further, and I'm going to stop myself. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to send it politely. I don't know if the victims of the Holocaust that suffered really under it would want you invoking that. Because let me tell you something. When you come here to Germany, it's right in your face. And it's real. It's real. There's a place down the street from here, and it's in front of an apartment building, and it says where a guy jumped to get away. That ain't got shit to do with Magic Gathering. The only thing you would be doing with that is virtue signaling, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourself. That's my lecture. You have anything to say on this?
No, I mean, I think we talked about ahead of time that it just shows the length at which the length which he's willing to go. It's
through his own family. To use his own family, who were serious victims of a horrible, oppressive, terrible, disgusting event, one of the most disgusting events in the last 100 years. And he actually used this because you said nasty things about a cosplayer.
That tells you everything you need to know about where he's so desperate to prove his point that he literally pulled out all the stops.
That is disgusting.
I can't think of a worse thing. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but I can't, if I were, I like, to be honest, as a non-Jew, I can't think of a single thing that I could say that would be as offensive. Like, it would be like, oh yeah.
I don't have a problem that he said it. I had a problem that he injected it into this petty bullshit.
Yeah,
I have a problem with what Boogie did. I have a serious problem with what Boogie did. That no problem. Well, I don't care if he calls. I'm gonna tell you, I don't care if he calls you a jerk. I don't care if he calls you a sexist. I don't know that he's wrong about everything. All right, but right. I do have a problem with this gang mentality that they're trying to basically take you away from your game, and in that whole time charging you with having a gang mentality. It's insane. Let me finish this because now you guy makes me sick.
And I'm being given a barrage of that because you saw me make a reply to someone that was saying, look.
You know what? So what? I don't even fucking feel bad for you. Fuck off. Fuck off that you would use that so quickly. You know, it's obviously you're pulling off stuff. I don't even take you sincerely. Who knows? Maybe you didn't even get a Nazi. That actually pisses me off. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Do you want to leave on a fucking good note? I'd actually like to hang out with you sometime. Maybe play. Maybe teach me how to play. It sucks that we met on these on these terms, I guess. But I think you deserved an honest defense from somebody like me who has a show for a circus. But I really do. So you don't think that Magic the Gathering is going to have is going to do anything, or you think they are going to affect you seriously?
Well, if I wanted to leave things on a positive note, I will say this. I feel like, I made mistakes. But when you stack somebody's mistakes over a 10-year period of time, they can look pretty horrendous when you put them all up in a montage or whatever. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, this was a good experience for me. It got me to meet people like you and people like
Warski. You got the Warski interview. Things really turned around after me, after I had a Warski interview. They really helped me a lot, by the way. And Andy's a great guy.
Andy's a good guy, definitely. Yeah. And, I'm on the fence. Really, at one point, I was 100% convinced that they were going to ban me. But now that we're into week 2 of this, I actually think some cooler heads prevail because the reality of it is this. If they ban me and do not ban every one of these people, for example, the professor, if they ban me for inciting a hate mob, well, then they have to ban the professor. Then they have to ban anyone who's ever said anything mean about somebody on the internet. And they're signing themselves up to be the social media police for all eternity. They would be way better served to just ignore it and let it go away because of stupid internet drama. If they ban me now, and then they don't ban those people, it's going to be a huge mistake for them. And people ask me if I would sue them. I absolutely would.
Wow. Yeah, but, a lot of people talk that fucking game. Are you really ready to do that? We're talking 10 grand down, probably. You ready to do that?
I've already spent $3 grand on legal consultations. So,
wow. So you're ready to go that extra mile, huh?
Yeah, well, the reality of it is this. If they ban me, then you have to wait many months for them to then not so like if they ban me and ban a bunch of other people with similar pasts, then I have no problem with it. It's stupid because then I'll just like be reporting people in my spare time to force them to continue to be the police. But if they were to ban me and let's say the professor and the top 5 players in this drama, I really wouldn't have anything to complain about.
Gotcha.
Now, if they only ban me, then I have, and they don't hold anyone else to the same standards. We have unfair business practices. We have them preventing me from doing my job as a member of the media, barring me from Grand Prix events. But as you know, Tommy, as you kind of alluded to, and
has your lawyer sent something over there already?
Well,
I'm detecting something. You sent Sims. You sent them. Maybe not like a cease and desist or something along those lines.
I mean, I can't say. I mean, I can't say anything like that.
Has there been contact with your lawyers and their administration?
There might have been. I mean,
okay.
The thing is,
all right, I'm smelling it.
Defamation is very difficult to prove.
Oh, it's ridiculous, especially with a public figure, and you could be considered a public figure.
Yeah. Right. And so even if I had like a rock solid case, it's not the best place to spend my money, like you said.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't enforce the ban equally, I'm told that that's a pretty easy win.
Okay.
And the thing is, Hasbro has many lawyers on payroll, just sitting there waiting for stuff like this. And my guess is that somebody came in there to their social media department, was like, whoa. Like, we are not going to be living up to this for the rest of our lives.
I mean, the thing is, like, what right does a company have to get involved on what's going on in Twitter? That's not their responsibility. If they're really worried about sexual harassment, they should be worried about it at the tournaments in the workplace, not on Twitter. It's not their fucking business. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's a horrible precedent if it does. And you know, it's interesting that these SJWs are so willing to hand that power to a fucking board game company.
Yeah, it would be a very bad. I'm sure some lawyers.
It is the definition of a slippery slope, and there ain't no fallacy about it. And legally, it might be worse than that.
It would be a nightmare for them.
Yeah. And so you're saying right now, you're gonna go sue. You're gonna get in there. A lot of YouTubers like to say that shit.
Yes, if they ban me, you heard it here first on the
You said it,
show. If they ban me and
could
don't
you put your hands up like Face Banks does? Can you do the
I will press charges.
Okay, you will press charges. You're already more of a man than the head of FaZe Clan.
Yeah, I'm not worried about winning the case if they out themselves. I think the best thing they can do is shut up. Mm-hmm. The second best thing to do would be to ban me and then like one or two of the major actors on the other side, which is my wild card. They could do that.
I don't want that. I want everybody to be able to talk.
I don't want anybody banned.
Yeah, I don't want anybody banned. I don't want that. I don't want the professor banned. No. He's as big a douchebag as he might be. I don't want him banned. No. And he actually looks like he's a pretty good channel. I mean, honestly. It's not a big
his content is great.
Yeah.
As a man, I disagree with him, but his content is great.
Sure.
If I could say just like you said, I have a squeaky clean history of attending in real life events. And that's, like you said, correctly, in my opinion, that's what they need to worry about. A publicly traded Fortune 500 company, Hasbro, cannot get into Twitter drama. Like, are you kidding?
I think that's what it just comes down to.
There's no way they're a lawyer.
And we're going to end it. Last question. Are you going to roll back the anti-SJW stuff?
No.
No, not at all. All right, buddy.
No.
You said it here. Right is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of. I think it was my best interview. I'm the best. I'm the fucking greatest. Sub, like, share, and hit the quartering up too. I'll see you tomorrow, bitches.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town, the King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.